7. Barrett outside the switch. Doncic goes
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all is well. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I really do appreciate it. So the New York Knicks just came out victorious in their second preseason game. So when it comes to the preseason, they are 2-0 and they have one more game to go, as we're going to be taking on the Washington Wizards. So we just demolished the Indiana Pacers, the final score being 131-114, and I really know Rick Carlisle is going to have a talk when it comes to these young guys and hold them accountable, especially when it comes to practice, because they've definitely been preaching defense, trying to improve on that side of the ball, and you let up 131 points, even if it's preseason or not. Like, you should not be allowing 131 points in an NBA game. I know you score a lot of points in today's NBA, but you definitely got to do better on that side of the ball. But we weren't perfect on defense as well. You see the final score 131-114. You could still say 114 points is a decent amount of points you give up in an NBA game. And obviously the headline that we're going to be talking about as well, Evan Fournier rested. So he did not start when it came to the shooting guard position next to an RJ Barrett that played the 3. So Cam Reddish actually had the opportunity to start, and I'm going to be getting into how I thought he looked throughout this game. Obviously, this is just a huge chance for him not to be a starter, but just to get rotational minutes for the New York Knicks. It's a contract year as well, so even if he doesn't impress the New York Knicks, maybe he impresses another basketball club and goes on to get a contract and have a fresh start and another spot when it comes to his third team in the league. So when it comes to the defense side of the basketball, I did not like the way we started off the game, especially outside on the perimeter. Like I mentioned in my game preview, they have shooters from beyond the arc when it comes to their starting lineup, just consistently. Tyrese Halliburton, a consistent three-point shooter. Buddy Hield, like definitely when it comes to efficiency as well. Chris Duarte can shoot the 3. Jalen Smith, Miles Turner is capable of knocking it down. It's just the efficiency has not been consistent throughout his NBA career, and we did not do a good job closing out at all. In under 5 minutes to start this game, you had Tyrese Halliburton knock down a 3, you had Buddy Hield knock down a 3, you had Chris Duarte, and then you also had Jalen Smith, who's been known for shooting the 3 ball since Maryland. But you could say, like, yes, we were allowing them to knock down 3s, but they were also allowing us to knock down 3s, and they weren't getting the best of stops on the defense side of the basketball as well. RJ Barrett did a good job lighting it up from beyond the arc. I believe he finished the game shooting making 4 threes in this one, and I believe 3 of them were in the first quarter. And I'm going to give credit to Julius Randle. At least in the first half or through 3 quarters of this basketball game, he made rapid, quick decisions. He didn't force shots, and he was like, you know what, I'm going to give it up. The defense attracted on me. I'm going to kick it out to an RJ Barrett. And not all of his threes were open looks. He knocked out a couple contested threes, which I really did like to see. And RJ Barrett is also able to get to that mid-range game as well. He had a nice impressive drive over Miles Turner, even though you could say Miles Turner's effort should have been better on that drive. There was a couple times I thought RJ Barrett forced it at the basket, but he went on to have a pretty efficient game. He knocked down both free throws, which I did like. I liked his discipline on the defense side of the basketball. And when it came to the overall group, and especially when RJ Barrett was the main X factor out there on the basketball floor, I remember specifically it was just a great leadership play by RJ Barrett when Jericho Sims played great defense when it came to him checking the game in the second quarter, made a key deflection, quickly came up with the basketball, gave it ahead to RJ Barrett. He threw it between his legs to Emmanuel quickly and then swung it around the perimeter too quickly. That relocated, I believe, and then made the extra pass to Miles McBride, knocking down a 3 in the corner. So when it came to his leadership, just making the extra pass, I did like the way RJ Barrett played the game. And he did attempt an off-the-dribble 3. It did not go down, but I thought RJ Barrett played a pretty solid game when it came to just all around. Maybe you would like to see him not force a couple of those shots when it comes to at the basket, but he did a good job knocking down 3s. And Jalen Brunson, if you take a look at his stats, maybe you're like, oh, he didn't have the best of game or maybe the best of efficiency when I'm thinking at the top of my head, but he did one hell of a job getting to the free throw line, and he's undersized, you could say, when it comes to his position at 6'1", but he plays extremely strong and he plays extremely hard for someone that is 6'1" out there on the floor. I remember one play, he literally got the ball, he drove into the interior and knocked Miles Turner off his spot and drew the foul on Miles Turner. I'm like, that is some grown man shit right there. And you could even see the impact from Jalen Brunson when it comes to this overall basketball club of how he helps this team, because it's a good thing and a bad thing, because when Jalen Brunson did go on the check out of the game, our offense became stagnant, I'm not going to lie. So, I know some people want quickly to fully run that point guard or run the show at point guard when it comes to that second unit, but I'm perfectly okay with Derrick Rose being the main ball handler when it comes to the second unit, because Quickly can make some nice passes, but then there's times I'm like, that's a shot too early in the shot clock. Like, you don't just have to utilize the screen to get a jumper off. But Emmanuel quickly got some big buckets for us as well when it looked like the game was starting to fall apart. We're getting a little sloppy throughout the game. He was able to pick up the ball, put up a big floater. He hit some momentum-changing threes as well, which I really like about Emmanuel Quickly's game, how he's able to knock down those momentum-changing threes, get the crowd into the basketball game. But yeah, there was moments that our offense was extremely stagnant and the Pacers start to go on runs, but you got to give credit to Benedict Mathurin and Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton made some nice passes. He knocked down his threes from the outside. Sometimes we did leave him open, but he made some nice plays out there on the basketball floor. He had a very impressive drive, but Benedict Mathurin, who comes off the bench for the Indiana Pacers, 6th overall pick coming out of Arizona, damn, he's a feisty dude, bro. Like, he plays extremely tough. He has a high motor. He can work downhill. He knocked down a very impressive off-the-dribble jumper, and you can't leave him open outside on the perimeter. And he did a good job, like, shutting off certain assignments or shutting off handoffs on defense. I thought he did a solid job on that. But at the end of the day, after they were knocked down their threes, you could say they were kind of falling in love with the three ball a little too much, and I thought the Knicks started to look a little more disciplined on the defense side of the basketball. I thought Mitchell Robinson was more disciplined this game compared to the last game. You could say he didn't really have that many stupid fouls or any stupid fouls in this game, and I thought he did a better job on the boards, and he was in the right spot at the right time. Jalen Brunson had a nice connection with Mitchell Robinson throughout this game on a couple possessions. Same thing with an RJ Barrett. So when it comes to the starters, I was not that mad at the overall starters in this basketball game, if I'm being real with you guys. I just think we need to do a better job defending the perimeter. But Cam Reddish, let's get into Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish was not that impressive. I'm not even putting the expectations into it. Like, I think some Knicks fans are like, okay, Cam Reddish has the tools, he has the ability to be good. Some Knicks fans fall in love. I'm not trying to speak for Knicks fans, and I'm not hating on these Knicks fans or anything like that. I just think some Knicks fans love the idea of what Cam Reddish can be, and that he's not that right now. Like, he's gotten opportunities. Some people just think he's never gotten opportunities at all. You could still watch his film of when he did get quality minutes in Atlanta at times. Like, when you actually see him play out there on the basketball floor, I thought he had some solid moments defensively, but there was a majority of time throughout this game, I'm like, is he even out there on the basketball floor? And I give him credit, his ability to get to the basket, but he needs to learn how to finish at the basket as well. Recognize when to use the backboard or recognize when to protect the ball. But in the second half, yes, he had a key steal when it came to, like, kind of picking up the guy full court, which led to a bucket, I believe. And then he had a ridiculous, beautiful, like, reverse layup. But when it just comes to overall discipline on defense, I'm excited to see the progression throughout the season, especially when it comes to the perimeter defense and how we communicate. But there was one interesting lineup that I did not understand. We had Emmanuel Quickly out there, we had Derrick Rose out there, and then we had Miles McBride out there all at the same time. I'm like, who is running the three here? This is absolutely ridiculous. And Obi Toppin was out there on the basketball floor, and you guys are excited to hear me talk about Obi Toppin, obviously, because I thought Obi was in it for a rough game. So RJ Barrett did a good job getting the defense to collapse. Kicks it out to an Obi Toppin, wide open three. I thought that thing was butter. He's working on that 3-point shot, brick. Just hits the backboard. He's wide open. But I have to give credit to Obi Toppin. A possession later, swats it off the backboard. That's what I love about Obi Toppin, though. He's constantly moving. He's leaking out. He's constantly moving without the basketball. And I think Jalen Brunson, when they're both out there on the floor together, I think they're going to really do a good job. But Obi Toppin had a great game. He really did. He didn't have a lot of rebounds. He didn't really distribute the basketball a lot. You could say he makes some key passes, like passes to assists, so it doesn't really show up on the stat sheet. But his 3-point shot eventually started falling. I remember in that fourth quarter when the game's kind of getting out of hand, he knocked down like 2 threes in a row. He played the passing lane well, threw it down, and I remember as well, leak out quickly, finds Obi Toppin, between the legs dunk, and it looked like TJ McConnell even tried to attempt it. It's just so amazing watching Obi Toppin play the game of basketball. But everyone's going to talk about the leak out dunks, the 3-pointers, but the most impressive play was when he utilized his handle in the first half. When he put the ball on the floor, put it behind his back, and his ability to get to the cup, and he finished pretty well with a soft touch. But another underrated thing I want to talk about when it comes to Mitchell Robinson. So Mitchell Robinson, I thought he did a solid job setting screens, rolling to the basket, freeing up space for his point guard to find him. But he knocked down both free throws, and his free throws look good. RJ Barrett knocked down both free throws as well, which I was satisfied with. Miles McBride, when it looked like Benedict Mathurin was starting to really, he still finished with a good stat line. I believe he had nearly 20 points in the game on good efficiency. But Benedict Mathurin's taller than not a Jalen Brunson. Miles McBride's 6'1". You have Halliburton that's maybe 4 or 5 inches taller. He's pretty athletic, works down the lane. Miles McBride says, "Get that out of here." But when it just comes to the overall flow or just comes to the team chemistry, especially in the second unit, I do like it. I just think they need to be smarter sometimes and be a little more disciplined and move the ball so it's not as stagnant on the offense side of the basketball. But good thing we have Derrick Rose in that second unit, because when it would be times that it looked like the Pacers were starting to come back, or at one point they kind of did come back, Derrick Rose floater down the lane, which I absolutely loved. But someone that I thought really struggled in this basketball game when it came to the second unit was Isaiah Hartenstein. Isaiah Hartenstein 0 of 2 from 3, airballed a 3, and when he airballed that 3, it was like a couple possessions before that prior, he was very frustrated because he was in foul trouble. I believe he had 3 or 4 fouls. There was one foul that I didn't agree with at all. I actually thought it was a ridiculous call by the referee, and he had a couple goaltends as well. He wasn't that disciplined on defense. He looked flat-footed. He just didn't look good. He didn't. He's always constantly engaged. He's always playing hard. He just didn't play smart. He didn't have the best of the game, to be completely real with you guys. But Jericho Sims, I thought he looked decent when he was out there. He had one amazing chase down block off the backboard. It's always funny just seeing him snag a rebound, bring it up the court sometimes. Like, let's push this thing. And I thought we had a sense of urgency of pushing the basketball. When we did that, I thought we really played at our best. There was another play in the fourth quarter. Very nice block, but like he didn't have the best of recognition, allowed an offensive rebound. Then they were able to get the bucket, but we know he's going to play hard. He's going to position himself well for rebounds. RJ Barrett, like, there was one beautiful play, though, by Cam Reddish. I got to give credit to Cam Reddish for. Cam Reddish had the ball, found RJ Barrett cutting, and then RJ Barrett, I thought he was, like, forcing a layup. I'm like, don't do that. But he had a very nice play, just recognizing Jericho Sims inside, and then Jericho Sims went on to throw it down. So when he's out there, he's going to play extremely hard, which I do like. But I just thought for 48 minutes, I'm not going to say the Knicks played harder because or even more efficient on offense, because both of these teams were very inconsistent when it came to scoring the basketball, if I'm being completely real with you guys. But I just thought there was just more consistency when it came to more active hands-on defense and making bigger plays in bigger moments and capitalizing off of turnovers in those big-time spots. But someone I also wanted to talk about was Svi Mykhailiuk. Svi Mykhailiuk in the fourth quarter was garbage time. He knocked down a couple threes. We know in Detroit he had that 1 year he shot like 38% from beyond the arc. He had one nice move off the dribble pull-up mid-range that he knocked down as well. But when it came to this game, it ended up becoming a bloodbath. As I told you guys, the final score, we scored 131 points. But I just love that we finally have a point guard that could break down the defense, can create his own shot, but also get to the free throw line when his shot isn't consistently falling. Because there was just one move that I absolutely loved. He was performing off the dribble, nice hesitations, fall away jumper. He just has such an unorthodox style of play that he's not the tallest in the world when it comes to point guard position, but he could use his strength and get to his spots out there on the floor and just utilize his base and just utilize his strength. He just has that dog mentality, which I really do love, and he gets his teammates involved as well. There was even one play I liked that it showed leadership. It wasn't him being rude, but Randall was calling for the ball. He waved him off, made the better read, and found Mitchell Robinson inside in the interior. And I really wonder if Mitchell Robinson is working on a hook shot or post moves. Maybe he is, but it just seems like he's not attempting them in the games. But you could tell he's working on the free throws. It's 2 free throws. We need to see a bigger sample size. They even popped up a video when the game was going on. He wants to get his free throw percentage up to like 78-80%. Easier said than done. We'll see what goes on to happen. But the Knicks, I thought, killed it when it came to points in the paint, getting there. And we'll see if Cam Reddish goes on to start again. But we'll see what goes on to happen next game. If Cam Reddish goes on to start, let me know down below your thoughts. Peace out, y'all.